What's up, guys? How's it going? Peter Scarlett here. Back to do some more random hardware videos. I normally don't do these very often or at all, but whenever I find something that I really like or that I'm really interested in, I kind of want to give a little bit of feedback based on my input. And for me, I've been using the Hori Fight Commander, the FC controller, for a very long time because it reminds me of the Sega Genesis controllers from back in the day when I used to play Street Fighter 2 as a kid. And I'm glad these fight controllers are coming back more and more, and they're getting better. They're being more widely accepted. There's nothing wrong with a good arcade fight stick or a hitbox. Nothing wrong with those. But sometimes, you want to just use a controller. It's convenient. It's not as heavy. It doesn't take up as much space. If you're not the serious, tournament goer, but if you're more of a casual and you want to go to a friend's house when they're having a party, and not have to worry about somebody damaging your $150+ arcade stick, or something getting spilled on it, or something crazy, then sometimes taking a controller is pretty good. But I'm gonna review this one because I'm really interested in it. It just came in the mail, so let's queue up some games and see what happens. All right, first things first, do want to say the D-pad being higher up does feel different from using the Hori Fight Commander or the FC controller. So that kind of throws me off just going through the menus, which, it's a small adjustment. But, excuse me. Yeah, so far it is feeling good, at least for what I'm using it for. Going to Amy just because. I do wish Soul Calibur had more ultra wide support than it does. Does feel good for Soul Calibur. At least the buttons feel good. Buttons over here feel great. Yeah, feels good. I just like doing that combo, sorry. But it lets me know the response time of the controller. Because sometimes certain controllers or even certain inputs have a hard time. I think Blaze Blue has a really good system for that during their challenge mode, because with Blaze Blue there are sometimes you gotta do certain inputs a certain way. What was it? Time for bed. Yeah, so the responsiveness, the buttons feel good. I think it's more, for me, it's more of an issue of the game than anything else. But the D-pad itself does feel good. Don't mind me doing random stuff. I won't let up. Watch and learn. Unbelievable. Nuisance. Here. Low. But yeah, as you can see through the button inputs, it's reading everything pretty well. Especially for the dash, which what I was going to think of for Tekken was yeah, because the Dragon Punch input, especially for Kazuya, with his punch, so. And it responds instantly, so I'm liking that, the response time. Definitely liking it so far. Alright, and first and foremost, gonna start off with Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter is just a really good way to just test out stuff, so figured why not just get into a little bit real quick, see how the D-pad responds, see how the input responds. try it with Laura because she has half circle motions. But yeah, overall, I am personally excited about the controller just because it reminds me of the old Sega Genesis controllers from like way back in the day when I first started playing fighting games. Alright, so it seems to read all of the inputs for half circle motions, so that's good. Feels good. A little stiff on the D-pad, but that's probably just because it's brand new, like right out the box. Yeah, you don't have to go sporadic with it. Yeah. Feels good. Like I said, it feels good. It feels a little stiff. That's just because it's brand new. For the motions, I don't really see a problem. The buttons are very clicky. They don't feel like they're rubbery or soft. I feel a lot of response out of them. The buttons themselves, all these buttons feel very, very light. They feel very easy to move around with. They feel very easy to press in, I should say. Not like there's something holding them back. You can tell they have good switches. Like, I could see myself using this controller for more than just fighting games. You know, double tapping and stuff. So, yeah. Like, probably arcade games probably be good with too. But yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to test out, just how it felt. Because then there are other games, you know, 2D fighting games are one way, 3D fighting games are another way. Oops, wrong one.
Here we go. One more down.
Okay. Actually feels better for corner circle moves. Okay. Feels natural. Okay. Alright, well I'm gonna test out Soul Calibur next and see how that goes. So after playing for a bit, I've started to notice a couple issues with it, and I don't know if it's the controller specifically or the way that the controller functions. Especially I've noticed with Vega. I've noticed that he's had a lot of issues with and I know there's a lot wrong with Vega, but when for some reason when you try to go into his like crossover, it pretty much has a problem with that. There's somewhere there's a problem with the input reading. But going into the crossover just sets him up for some, wow, this person really has bad internet. Sets him up for some issues where I haven't been able to get it to work. Like just basic crossover into medium punch and then roll, it'll just not read it. So I don't know what's up with that. And even there, it didn't read it. Because in the heat of a situation, you're not gonna be, you know, doing inputs pretty slow. So I don't know if it's the D-pad itself that's having the issues. And I've switched back on the settings back and forth between D-pad and left stick. And no matter what, it's in both issues. So I guess it depends on the situation. Honestly, I guess it does. Because see there, it didn't do it either. And I'm not doing this just to prove like I'm good or something at Vega, but just, or how bad Vega is. But just like the way the controller reacts to certain things. I've noticed that. So maybe it might be an issue with the game or the character, but that's the one thing I've noticed. Just trying to do crossover combos, even in practice, it seems like there's something wrong with the D-pad on that note. See, it just won't do it sometimes. So, and that's the weird thing. I haven't had that problem with the Hori FC controller at all, but just with this, I don't know. Didn't do it again. So, like I said, don't know what's up with that. Don't know if it's the D-pad itself, but at the bottom you can switch between left stick and D-pad. I've been switching back and forth to see if it's a response issue, but so far that's been my only negative since I've been playing with it for about an hour now. Just honestly just playing around with the D-pad and seeing what's going on with it. I'm gonna do this fight again.
Round one. Fight.
Came out slow. And I don't have this problem with the fight controller, so I think that may be the one issue where the D-pad does feel better, but there might be an issue with response. Didn't do it. I hate fighting against Kages personally.
Round two. Fight.
Oh. Oh, that time it did it. Come on. Wasn't trying to do that, but wow. See, I was trying to do the critical art there, and the only thing that came out was the regular. So I don't know what that's about. I was saying sometimes it's just, I don't know. I can't tell if it's the input. I pressed the wrong button there. Can't tell if it's the input or if it's the game. We all know Street Fighter has some pretty bad netcode, but I don't know. So I guess my opinion would be probably learn the controller, I guess, or spend as much time with it as you need. My combos are trash right now. Trying to talk and record this at the same time. And I'm not a Vega main, so I just wanted to use him to see how it would feel, because he is a little bit of everything, where he's a little bit of charge. He's got a little bit of command inputs. Ooh, didn't do the command input there. But yeah, I think like in a combat situation, if you're trying to like rush out moves and stuff, this may cause some issues just because of the way the D-pad is. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. After more testing, more practice, I think it'll be easier to say. So I'll probably do a follow-up review in a couple weeks, just to see how it feels. Because my only problem is the D-pad. Everything else feels good. The buttons feel good, especially up top. They're clicky. which is good because they're fast and they're responsive. The buttons are fast and responsive throughout. The switches at the bottom are a big help. You know, having them right here instead of like on which Hori was it? The PS4 Hori where they're at the top. I do prefer them being at the bottom because it's easier to just get to with my thumb. But yeah, it is definitely a different feel. So yeah, like I said, I'll do a follow-up video and see if anything changes or give an update to how the D-pad feels. But so far, as far as button input goes, I do like it over the Hori for the basic buttons because the buttons just feel lighter. They don't feel like there's anything getting in the way, whereas the Hori, actually let me use the Xbox one because it's white. The Hori one, the buttons are bigger on the Hori. That's the first thing you can probably tell. The buttons are bigger, which is good. I mean, I'd still take this to a tournament like I always have since like Street Fighter 4. I would still take this just because I'm more comfortable with it, and I'm very aware of my limitations with this controller. But so far the Razer does feel pretty good. So I'm gonna give it a chance, and then I'm gonna do an update in a couple weeks for you guys to know exactly how I feel about the D-pad. All right, so see you guys later. See you in the next video or in the next stream. If you see me streaming a Street Fighter or any other fighting game, hit me up, ask me how the controller's going. And yeah, I'll see you then. Peace.